before I head off to work for now, I wanted to talk about this baklava because I just saw a tiny clip of Ashley Banfield talking about how now there is 100% proof that Mr. Brian Kohberger bought this ski mask. We have been shown the picture and I will add it to the thumbnail. So just give me a few minutes, guys. A picture that Dylan drew of the ski mask. So people are saying that maybe she was pushed to draw that ski mask by the police. And again, we should be very careful to what we are listening to on the news, because it's typical for Ashley, it's typical for Nancy Disgrace to put things out there without proof. I have not seen any receipts that have been released yet to show 100% that Mr. Brian Kohberger actually purchased this baklava. I did see a very lengthy document of 100 plus things that the state is still waiting on to get certified, to be verified that it's actually true, including purchases, bank transactions, video footage from several areas in Moscow and Pullman. So we'll go through that later, I'm hoping. But I just wanted to hop on here and talk about the baklava because, again, don't be an idiot. Don't just believe that he is done for, that this man is done. He bought a baklava and that means he committed the crime. Again, it's very interesting when people are building, when law enforcement is building a case and try to make the case fit the person. How many other people have baklavas, right? Because according to the legal documents, there was a baklava that was allegedly purchased by the Kohberger Amazon account. So we don't even know if it's Kohberger's, Brian Kohberger's. Is it the dad? Is it the mom? Is it the sisters? I'm sure that can all be tracked and traced through IP addresses as well as credit cards. Who entered the credit card? But I have a baklava, guys. Oh my gosh, I have a K-bar and I have a baklava because I like to ski. And we have heard several times that Mr. Kohberger was an avid runner, an outdoor runner. So if you're running outdoors in January, when he purchased this baklava, the ski mask allegedly, isn't it kind of normal to have a baklava to go running in cold temperature? That being said, I do understand this is not a good look, because understanding how neurotypical people, most people think, they're going to put all of that together. Potentially, if there is an actual receipt, it's not a good look for Brian, right? And people don't stop to think, well, what are other uses of a baklava? And also, who else had a baklava? Because I'm pretty sure that I have seen some images of Dylan Mortensen out there with a baklava on. Am I mistaken? Did I dream that up? I'm going to have to search through all my images that I have saved on Dylan from the early days. For example, like the one where she's holding the K-bar. And I also wanted to talk about what the state is now doing regarding Dylan and Bethany, right? Basically, the state wants us to completely forget about Dylan and Bethany's actions. They want us to forget and to completely ignore what Dylan and Bethany did in those early morning hours, which is not a good look for Dylan, and it's definitely not a good look for Bethany. But no, I'm not going to leave these girls alone, okay? They are part of this, and both of them and every other university student that was at that house that morning, okay, they knew about this before the 911 call. In my opinion, we should not leave them alone. We should not be forgetting them. We should not pretend that their actions don't matter, right? Again, this is how we create very biased cases, right? When we are only being shown bits and pieces of information. What do you expect? For example, we have footage of Brian Kohberger, supposedly where he pinged at, and they're only showing us portions. What about the footage, the videos of these white Elantras? Show us the entire footage. We can't just give the state or the defense, by the way, what they want, which is, yeah, let's pretend that these girls don't matter. They have nothing to do with this. We need to look at the case in its entirety, and that means leaving nothing out, right? So again, we're supposed to believe that they were terrified at 420 and then somebody saw a stranger in the house, and that they called everyone in the house multiple times and ran into each other in each other's room to be together and safe, but then 15 minutes later they just got over it and went straight to sleep. Yeah, okay, Ashley. See, it doesn't really make sense, right? Okay, we should not leave these women, these two women alone. In my opinion, they certainly know things, and they may be involved in one way or another, right? We cannot forget that. Also, the fact that they did not call 911 sooner, that is illegal, right? Technically, these two young women could have been charged for not calling 911, but the state doesn't want us to focus on them. And of course, if you take the focus off of the fuck-ups of Dylan and Bethany, we're gonna place all of our attention on Brian. That's not what we want. We want to look at this case in its entirety. We want it to be as unbiased as possible. And I am an open-minded human being. So I'm like, look, if Brian Kohberger actually did purchase this baklava, show it to me. Show me the receipt. Show me that it's a verified receipt. Show me where this mask is at. Show us everything. Show me what Dylan and Bethany did. I want to know who else was in that house when the crime had, post-crime, after the crime had taken place, right? And these poor girls, you know, they were so scared on Snapchat, calling everyone. Remember that, they were calling everyone, except who? Except the police, right? Until after they checked their social media, until they called their daddies, before finally making this call to the police at 11:59 a.m. Okay, seriously, the amount of people that believe this bullshit, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. So I want you guys to let me know in the chat. I'll eventually get to the chat, guys. I don't have too much time today right now. Do you think that all of the actions of Dylan and Bethany should be ignored? And if you have heard of the baklava, have you heard the video that Ashley just put out not too long ago saying that now basically Mr. Kohberger is done for because of this purchase? But again, let's pull up the pictures of other people that were at the crime scene allegedly, like Dylan or Bethany. Did they own a ski mask? Did they own a baklava? To me, guys, when you're passing that phone around, you're supposedly working with this 911 dispatcher, that just was 100% avoidance, right? But they don't want us to talk about the roommates. They don't want us to talk about other friends who posted so many fucking selfies with large, sharp, blunt objects. We're supposed to forget about that. Yeah, don't bring up the frat boys. By the way, guys, later on, if I do have time, I promise I'm going to talk about the machete throwing contest. You guys remember that, right? Do you remember that there was a machete throwing contest? We're going to get into that later. Because again, that also matches some of what was mentioned in 4chan. So let me know, guys, what you thought of this video. Leave a like, leave a comment. I hope to see you guys later. What do you think? Should we just completely pretend that everything that Bethany and Dylan did do or did not do, should we just let it slide? You guys already know how I feel. So yeah, I got to get to work, guys. See you soon. Take care.